Passing some gun legislation, ain't we? Pass a little gun restrictions and regulations here in this country called America. These politicians just don't hardly get it now, do they? There has always been, in every society known to humankind and mankind, the creator of the universe, he tells me, he puts it in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, that no matter what gun restrictions we might choose to put on the law books, what type of regulations we put on these law books right here, nothing's gonna hardly ever work, is it? Nothing's gonna hardly stick. Because the truth is, we can go back to the beginning of ages. We can go back to the beginning of days. We can go back to the beginning of colonization. There were always criminals, terrorists, domestic terrorists, criminals who disobey the laws that are written on in legislation on these law books. Now, until the end of time, there are always going to be gang members, whether they're local or across the country in California or up in New York or Chicago or Atlanta, Georgia, Miami, it don't matter, Dallas, Houston, Texas, it don't matter what city you're talking about here in this country right here. You want to put regulations against on the guns, gun ownership, against people who they say are unstable, mentally insane folks. Well, now are these gang members that are running rampant around here in this country across all 50 states, now are they mentally unstable? Is that your definition, government? Is that your definition of mentally unstable folks with guns and firearms, pistols and AK-47s in this country? Well, let me tell you, these gang members, these criminals, I'm talking about hardened thugs, street thugs, killers. I'm talking about drug dealers. I'm talking about gang bangers. I'm talking about true gangsters who are running the city block, the city street that they live on in this big city right here. They're abundant. They're everywhere in all these major metropolitan cities. There's a lot of them. Now they outnumber the police department, the police force, who have weapons to defend as well. Now, we can go back to the days of the Wild Wild West, where these folks shot the sheriff or something. They had a big shootout in the streets. Dirt. Used to be dirt streets in the Wild Wild West. You ever watch any of these Western movies? These shootouts that they have going on up here in the street and stuff. Dirt streets. And they, back in the old days, the ancient, premature days of Western Wild Wild West society, colonization, there was always somebody who broke the laws on the book, was it not? Back in even in those days, way back then, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and even today, regardless of what law and legislation you pass in your government and put on these books right here, you don't get it, do you, folks? There's always folks. There's always gang members. There's always domestic terrorists. There's always going to be somebody out here in society, in these metropolitan cities, major America cities, who somehow purchases a weapon and they're not mentally stable. They're not 100% okay upstairs. And they purchase these weapons to defend their city block, to defend their drug trade, to defend their line of income that supports and feeds their families and their children. There's always going to be these gang members out here in these metropolitan city streets. They're not going to abide by your laws and legislation. You can put them in jail and arrest them time and time again. It doesn't matter. You arrest one of them and take him off the street, and 12 more are born. You can arrest another one for having a convicted felon or something, a gang member, convicted felon for having a unlawful possession of a firearm, unlawful possession of a pistol or something. Hey, you arrest him and take him off the street for a few short months, 12 more, a dozen more are born. There's 12 more out here on the street after you take that one off to the jailhouse and give him 3 squares and a cot, 3 meals, 3 square meals and a cot. Defend that, he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Defend that jailbird right there. We got to get him in one person and alive and well up here to the courthouse to face a trial or something. You think these convicted felons, gangbangers in these metropolitan areas are really going to abide lawfully by what you want to put on the books as far as gun control, gun restrictions, and regulations? You have to be out of your loving mind, my friend. Are you insane? Your little plan, boy. Donald Trump, rich boy Trump. Your little plan of trying to keep guns out of people who are mentally unstable. I'm here to tell you, my friend, these metropolitan cities in America right here are running rampant with these gang-banging thugs. They strap, carry heat all of the time. They got the cocaine and the marijuana and the meth and the pills, prescription pills and stuff, and they're slinging and selling shit all over the city streets. They have a big cash wad of money they carry around in their pockets at any given time. They're loaded. Loaded cash-wise, loaded drug-wise, and loaded weapon-wise. Now, are these people mentally stable? Well, the thing is, Donald Trump, this is the way they live here in this wild, wild west mentality, this free country, this free society ideology that you've given to them since kindergarten. Now, are they going to abide by your gun laws and restrictions and regulations? Absolutely not. But there will be a lot of good folks, a lot of honest folks, truthful and real folks who can stop these kind of individuals, gang-banging thugs in the city street, good folks can be in a crowd to stop these wicked and evil folks. So what kind of restrictions are you imposing again now? I don't quite understand. A no-go. Not gonna work in these metropolitan areas there where gangs run rampant, Mr. Trump. Shalom, folks. Shalom.